I'm asked this question quite a bit, and that's why do pigs root? Now, rooting is just a natural behavior for pigs, and there's two reasons why they do it. Well, two main reasons. The first one, they're looking for food. They're pigs. They like to eat. So they're digging up the dirt, and they're looking for something to eat. Roots, bugs, whatever. Number two, pigs are iron deficient. Now, this brings up other questions. If they're iron deficient, how do we give them iron? Well, there's two ways to do that. Well, more than two, but we're going to go over two right now. So the first one, you can give them iron injections. And this is a viable option for a lot of people. A lot of people, they want to keep their pens easy to clean. So what they'll do is they'll put them on concrete. They'll use a concrete floor in their pen so it's easy to clean. They can get in there with a garden hose. They can sit there and just spray it off. Works fine. Nice and easy for them, right? However, the hogs cannot root and get their iron. So when they're born, usually at about 3 days old, you give them an iron injection. This helps with that. Now, the other option, and this is what we do. We keep all our hogs in dirt. We allow them to root. We don't use hog rings. We don't use any of that stuff. So we allow them to root, as you've seen in previous videos. So at some point in their rooting, they're going to deplete the soil of its iron. Just the way it is. It's going to take a while, but it can happen. So what we do is we keep pieces of steel on the outside of their pen. That's important, on the outside. We don't want them to cut themselves. But what happens is, as it rains, that iron or that piece of steel will get wet, it'll rust, and that'll run down into the soil, oxidizing it, therefore put more iron into it. So, now, a lot of people, they say, well, okay, pigs are iron deficient, but why? Well, the answer to that is when pigs are born, they do not have any access to iron other than their mother's milk. Now, this is also iron deficient until they start to eat creep feed. Now, a shortage in iron does result in lower levels of hemoglobin in the red blood cells, also known as anemia. Now, it also gives them a lower capacity for the carriage of oxygen around the body and increases their chance for disease. So you want to keep them with plenty of iron to decrease risks for diseases. Now, some diseases, it doesn't matter. There are diseases out there in hogs that it doesn't matter what their iron levels are, it doesn't matter, they're going to get them. China just experienced this a few months ago, last year, where they've had to cull a huge chunk of their hogs nationwide due to diseases. So, the next thing is, if you have them on concrete, or even if you have them in the dirt, do you have to give your baby pigs shots? In short, yes. Now, because the mother's milk, or sow's milk, is iron deficient, you want to make sure that your baby pigs are given iron injections when they're 3 to 4 days old. Okay, 3 to 4 days. Now, that will help boost their immune system, and it'll make them slightly harder for them to end up with various diseases. Now, it'll also help their blood carry the oxygen, like I said. Now, injections are the preferred method of ensuring piglets get the exact dose of iron they need. Oral supplementation depends on the amount of food or water that the piglet consumes. So there is the risk of the piglet getting too much or too little iron. Okay? Now, there's 3 places you can give a hog an injection for iron, okay? And that's behind the ear, okay? In the ham muscle. Now, that's not recommended by a lot of vets because it does carry the risk of damaging the ham. So that would be the back leg, around the thigh area, okay? That's where your ham comes from. The next one is in the Unequal Fold. Now, that fold, that's if you look at the back of a hog, where that back leg is, okay, on that thigh, where that runs up and it connects to the rest of the body. Right inside that fold is where you're going to give that injection. Okay, now there's actually two ways to give the injection itself. You can do intermuscular. Okay, they're given deep into the muscle with a pretty long needle, usually about 20 millimeters or so. Then there's the subconscious injections, which are given just under the skin. Now, that's a shorter needle at about 10 millimeters. Now, understand this. I am not a vet, okay? So, do not just run out, buy a 20 millimeter, 10 millimeter needle and just start giving your hogs injections, okay? Consult with your vet. Before you give any kind of injections, consult your vet. Okay, there's my disclaimer. I am not a vet. I'm a rancher. I have run hogs for a long time. Okay, so you want to make sure, just like with any injection, that the injection site is clean and dry. Okay, that's important. Now, there's different vials and, stuff like that you can use. And, there's collapsibles, which are nice because as the iron gets injected into the hog, the container itself, the vial itself, will actually collapse. Now, this will minimize air and stuff like that getting into or going into the hog with the injection. Okay, so, but these are all things. If you're not comfortable doing it, if you haven't done it, please talk to your vet. Have your vet come out, give the shots. You can sit there, you can watch, you can ask questions. A lot of vets, they're going to be more than happy to teach you these things. Okay, because if you have 6 litters a year, they're not going to want to come out and start doing 80 to 100 injections on these hogs. Yeah, it can be profitable for them, but it's kind of a pain. So a lot of you vets, they're going to teach you this kind of stuff. They're going to talk to you, you good vets. Now, like I said, there's other ways that hogs can get iron. And that's, with iron, pieces of metal. Now, so if this leads to another question now, okay? If hogs are iron deficient and they need iron injections, what other shots do they need? Well, ultimately that depends on where you live, okay? Some places there's different diseases than there are in others. So consult your vet. It always comes back to talk to your vet, okay? Now, the vaccination schedule itself usually begins at about a week old. Okay, now this includes your shots to fight against stuff like Portella, mycoplasma, pneumonia. Now those two go hand in hand because they are deadly and can infect the respiratory system. Okay, so now that comes up to that. Well, what injection schedule should I follow? Well, those are hard to answer. Okay, ultimately you want to consult your vet. Okay, I cannot stress that enough. When you're dealing with anything like this stuff, you want to consult your vet. Okay, that will determine exactly what injections your hog should get and when they should get them. Now, valleyvet.com recommends that hogs should be vaccinated for, at the following time frames: 3 weeks of age for circovirus, which is a common swine virus found in pigs all over the world that can ultimately lead to death. We don't want that. At 4 weeks of age, they should get their boosters for rhinitis, their boosters for, their vaccinations for mycoplasma, pneumonia, and Centenobacterius. And at 8 weeks of age, they get their vaccination against a parasite that causes Glasser's disease. They also get their polycirrhosis virus, which protects the piglets against pleuromoninia as well. Now, they all vary. They rely on several factors, so consult your vet. Okay? Now, people do ask, can a pig be kept from rooting? If I've got them on concrete, You know, so it's easy for me to clean, but they're still rooting. How can I stop that? They're hurting themselves. Well, yeah, you can, and that's with using hog rings. Now, I've discussed in a previous video how I do not like hog rings. I don't think they're right, but that's my personal opinion. So you can use hog rings to keep them from rooting, or you can set up what's known as a rooting box. Now, a rooting box is actually really, really simple thing to make. Okay, so you take some pieces of wood, right? 2x4s, 2x8s, whatever, right? And you make a box out of it. Now you fill that with dirt. Now, to encourage them to root in that spot, you put a treat or something in there. And they're going to root after that treat. So they're rooting in this one spot. Now, they're going to get dirt everywhere, okay? Just understand this. If you use a rooting box on a concrete slab, they're going to get dirt everywhere. Because pigs love being covered in all kinds of stuff. Okay, whether it's mud, whether it's, it don't matter. Okay, so this brings up the last question with pigs and with rooting. Okay, and that's, how do I stop rooting if it becomes violent? Now, pigs, ours right now are about 350 pounds. So if they come up and they start pushing, trying to root on your legs, stuff like that, it can be a problem. They can seriously hurt somebody. If you got little kids, or you got little animals, dogs, whatever, chickens. Oh my goodness. We have lost, I don't know how many good laying hens to these hogs because we'd free range our chickens. They'd run, they'd get in a pig pen, and next thing we know, them hogs are having a little snack. And they will eat the entire doggone thing. Feathers, bone, it don't matter. They will eat every bit of it. Well, originally, we thought it was coyotes getting our chickens. But anyway, back on topic. I'm kind of going down a little bit of a rabbit trail here. Now, pigs are highly intelligent animals, okay? You can actually slap them on the nose, tell them no. Firmly. Okay? Just slap them, no. Just like that. That's all you got to do. Eventually, they'll figure it out. Okay? You can almost train a pig a lot like you can train a dog. All right, they're extremely intelligent. Hey, shoot, you could teach pigs to walk on a leash if you want to. I wouldn't recommend it, because if they decide to take off at 300, 400 pounds, guess what? You're going for a ride. But it is an effective way to end that behavior. Now, that's all we're going to cover in this video. You know, I've got an article up on our website, whitemountainslivestock.com. You can go to blog, swine, it's right in there, why pigs root. You can read more in-depth information on this. In fact, I'll also link it down in the down below in the description. Appreciate y'all watching the video. If you have any questions, anything else you want to see me cover, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell icon right there so you're notified whenever I upload another video. I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all have a good day.